Okay, this next report that we're going to take a look at is actually one of my favorites, and it has been one of the most helpful reports that I have in the system that I use all the time, and that is called the Time in Rank Report. And the Time in Rank Report, if you'll remember back to some of our previous videos, you have the ability to specify the number of classes that you need to promote to certain ranks whenever you set up your promotion system. You also have the ability to set up the number of hours that you have to record in class to be able to move to the next level. Well, the Time and Rank Report is a comprehensive look at all of your students and what their requirements are and how far they've come to meeting each one. This is a great report for determining who might be close to testing. So we're going to come to reports and we're going to select time and rank, and you'll see the criteria changes to either select a particular school, and if you want to narrow down the report, because this report can get quite intense if you have a lot of students. Say you wanted to narrow it down to a particular group. But what we're going to do is there's not too many in this particular sample school, so we're just going to go ahead and run all groups, and we're not going to filter the list down. All right, so when we execute the time and rank report, then what you're going to see is you're going to see a window that comes up, and we'll expand him out just a little bit so that we can see what's going on. And what you'll see down the left is you're going to see a list of students, and these are active students in that school. And what you're going to see is you're going to see total classes, so this will be the total number of classes that they have attended in your entire system. And down here you'll see the total number of hours that they have trained in the entire system. So you can see that that Harvey is a relative beginner, whereas Bob has 125 hours with 125 classes with a total of 443 and a half hours. If we take a look as a beginner, you can see that Bob spent 691 days from the time he joined the school, which is going to be the start date of the student, up until his first promotion. You can see that during that time he attended 84 classes and has 362 hours worth of credit. The next bit that you'll see in this square is you'll see the hours to go, or excuse me, the hours required and the hours to go. If he is already promoted, then what you'll see is this should be in green, and you'll see that he doesn't really need any more hours to go here because he has his required number of hours. And we see that he's already been promoted to blue belt, and as a blue belt he has spent 952 days in class, 41 classes for a total of 81 hours. He's required to have 100 hours to promote to purple, so he has 19 hours to go. So you'll see that that appears in red because that shows that there is a certain amount of lacking in the number of classes, or excuse me, the number of hours that he needs in order to promote to his next rank. Whenever you get to the point where you see a student and they have 0 here, like say for Roger, you'll see that he has 55 classes at purple belt, and he has 114 hours at purple belt, but it's only required that he have 100. So his hours to go are 0, which means that he's 14 hours over his minimum requirement. He might be somebody interesting to look at for testing. So if you have requirements in your school where you track the number of classes and you track the number of hours, then what becomes interesting is to see how close people are to that limit. Let's go back up here. Let's close this, and let's go back over to our setup, because this is interesting. I want to show this. We can go back to our setup, and when we come here under the ranking system, I want to come up here under purple belt, edit this rank. Now you'll see that we have number of hours, but we don't have number of classes. So what I want to do is for purple belt, I want to add in 50 classes. 50 classes are required. Now you'll notice on the time and rank report it didn't show anything about classes because those ranks had no class requirements. So if we come in here and we save this, now let's come back up and go back to reports, and we go back over to time and rank, and we select the school. Now what you'll see is up under purple belt, or purple belt now has a class requirement. So under blue belt you're going to see classes required 50, classes to go 9. So you'll see that they have 41 classes, they need 50, total is 9, that appears in red. So now, if there's a class requirement, you'll see that class requirement appear in this column, right? But of course, Purple Belt, SonQ Purple Belt does not have any class requirements, so you won't see any requirements in this particular rank. One other thing that I wanted to explain is that it is possible in the system to promote people past their rank, to give them essentially 2 promotions at once. A number of schools have done this, I've seen that, and so it is possible to skip a rank, and this report recognizes the fact that as a beginner, Mark has these stats as a beginner, but then because he made it up to 541 hours as a beginner, then we promoted him to Purple Belt immediately, and we just skipped over Blue. And so that shows a skip in rank, and this one shows another skip in rank, and it shows that he still has 60 hours to go before he can test for his next brown belt. And that is essentially the time and rank report. It gives you lots of really good information about tracking individual students' progress and how close they have come to having the minimum number of classes and the minimum number of hours that are required for every rank. If you set the system up properly, it can give you some really good information. Like I said, this is my favorite report. I use it all the time to see who's on the bubble, who's ready to be tested. All right, thanks.